Welcome back to AJHD, the podcast where strange stories, haunting memories, and unhinged moments from the internet come to life. I'm Aaron J, and if you're new here, we split each episode into two halves, one told by me and one by Audrey J. Today's episode is titled Always the Husband, and you'll see why. From creepy childhood dreams to petty revenge and true crime shockers, we've got a lineup that reminds you just how weird real life can get. So get comfy, grab a snack, and let's get into it.
Today I'm going to start out with a story. Dream led me to a real band that really exists. All right, this one's got serious Twilight Zone vibe. A Redditor named Sammy Next had a weird dream that led them to a band on Spotify they'd never heard of, and now they're questioning reality. Hey Reddit, I experienced something really strange and I can't stop thinking about it. Last night I had a dream about a girl with short blonde hair about shoulder length. I remember clearly she was born in 2000, no specific day or month. In the dream, she was either transgender or I was somehow confused about her identity, but she was clearly a woman in the end. In the dream, I looked her up online. I discovered she was involved in a dark music project or band called Deadhood. Apparently, she had acted in a few indie films that I had seen before in real life, but I can't remember the names now. Here's the creepy part. When I woke up, I thought the name Deadhood was just something random in my brain that I came up with. But later that day, out of pure curiosity, I searched Deadhood on Spotify, and to my shock, it actually exists. A band with exactly that name. Only 2 songs, Death is Coming and Black Silence.
Creepy.
The sound is dark metal, and the vocals seem masculine like it's a guy singing. No signs of a female artist. No full bio, barely any online presence, and only 2 monthly listeners. Now I'm spiraling a little. Who was that girl in my dream? Why did I dream about an actual band with such a low digital footprint? Was she a version of the real artist? Did I glimpse some parallel timeline or pick up on something unfinished? I'm not saying this is supernatural, but it really feels off. Has anyone experienced something like this? A dream that accurately led you to something real but unknown? Any help or insight would be appreciated.
That is creepy in the coolest way possible. It's like waking up inside a Reddit thread.
Now, here's the wild part. The comment section lit up with people sharing their own mind-bending moments. One user dreamed of a band playing around a campfire, woke up, searched the name, and it had actually existed. I wonder if it's you hear somebody say you like are far removed,
Right.
and your subconscious
Super
picked up on it.
subconscious.
Yeah, it's very interesting though. I love the psychology behind it. Or just a glitch in the matrix. I also fully believe in that. Someone said they dreamed of a car license plate number, wrote it down. They later found it matched the hex code of a blue, the color. I don't know where I read that.
That's insane. How would they know that? This license plate could be a color code. You know how like F is all white, like a color code. That's okay.
OP got deep in the comments talking about how the band's energy is spreading across the universe and that people who ignore dreams are like zombies and missing the signal from the universe, I suppose.
That's fair.
Another user compared it to a Beatles urban legend where a guy found a cassette with a never before heard Beatles tracks and claimed it was from a parallel universe. There were skeptics too. One commenter said maybe the band name Deadhood just isn't that unique, and 2 people thought of it independently. But OP pushed back. There's only one Deadhood. The song's titled Death is Coming. The vibe is somewhere between conspiracy theory, quantum coincidence, and sleep-deprived Spotify roulette.
I don't know what's more wild. Like that dream led with a real band, or that like everybody has the same story. Like this is also genius marketing. They did say they only had 2 monthly listeners, but like I literally went and checked to make sure that they didn't blow up. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm gonna steal this idea. Like, oh, I had this dream where this podcast about ADHD just kept calling me. Like and subscribe. And
like the links.
Yeah, exactly. Link in bio. But wow.
Whatever's going on, it's just a reminder that the line between dreams and memory and reality might be thinner than we think. One Redditor put it best, it's all connected.
That's very, very well. So today's story is less about horror and more about memory and also about dreams. We asked Reddit, What's a dream you've remembered since a young age? The responses we found were powerful, eerie, emotional, and some of them feel almost spiritual. Let's dive into the most unforgettable ones that I found. When I was younger, around 13, 14, I had a very bad relationship with food and myself. It was getting quite serious, and one night I had a dream where I saw a black body bag and my brother was crying over it. I opened the body bag and it was me inside. I could still see I could see my bones, etc. That dream shook the anorexia right out of me. Still remember it vividly to this day.
Wow.
Yeah. This one, used to have this one. I still remember at like age 4 dreaming of Dracula coming to my street, and I looked out my window to see, and he turned and stared right at me. I was frozen with fear. It's kind of funny though, because it was Count Dracula from Sesame Street.
The Count.
Yeah. Here's another one. I was about 5, outside at night at our old house. A polar bear was pulling one arm while a family friend was pulling the other. The bear was trying to pull me away. The woman was trying to get me into a car. I resisted and the woman left. A few weeks later, some men she knew came to visit while my mom was pregnant and my stepdad was away. They gave off bad vibes and weird things started happening. Wolves showed up playing with the dogs, but only I saw them. Years later, I still remember everything. The danger of the polar bear and the spirit of those animals. Damn, little kids are crazy.
You gotta get somebody to interpret that one.
Yeah, 5 years old. That sounds like that's basically how the dreams are explained when you explain them, though. You're like, and then there was a polar bear, and Aunt Susie was trying to get me in the car, but I don't like the smell of it. And pizza was on the dinner menu, and then Grandpa saved us all with his frying pan.
And everything was blue.
Yeah, everything was blue.
That's so sweet. So sorry.
I was very young and the dream started normal, just me playing at home. Then I entered a friend's house and it turned into a horror movie. Every friend and family member we found was mutilated like a Saw movie. The house seemed to stretch forever. I had OCD as a kid and was often anxious about losing my family, so maybe that explains it, but it stuck with me forever. All these little traumatic kids. So,
I mean, I get it.
so this memory is so old, I don't know if it was a dream or a past life. I remember fireworks, a dog named Maggie running toward me, and feeling overwhelming joy, but none of it made sense. That house didn't exist, no one knew a Maggie, and I never saw fireworks at home. Still, it felt real, not dramatic, just a perfect moment with a dog I might have had in another life. And like the reason it is kind of all over the place is we want to hear people's dreams. Dreams stick with us for a reason. Some are terrifying, some healing, and others just damn strange. Whether it's your brain sorting through trauma or something spiritual poking through, these stories prove how much power our subconscious holds.
All right, next. What was 2006 really like? You were there.
I think I was 19.
I can't do basic math.
I knew I was 18 in 2005 when I graduated, so I just added a year.
Oh, smart.
ADHD math.
You're right. I was 16, 17 probably.
I was 4.
This one's a nostalgia time capsule. Someone born in late 2006 asked Reddit to describe the year they were born. Not just the facts, but the vibe. So here's what they got. The original story is describe the year 2006 to someone who has no memory of it. I was born in the later part of 2006 and I wanted to know what major events happened for you that year. Favorite albums, festivals, concerts, gigs that you went to. Your favorite musicians. Did you have any pets? Lose any, etc. Oh, I don't want a pet loss story. I'm just kidding. We don't have any of those, I don't think. I know Google is free and I could search up things that happened that year, but I wanted to hear from a more personal account. Like, what did 2006 mean for you? Because there's so many more catered niche experiences.
So like instead of Googling, like they wanted to Reddit time travel.
Exactly. Reddit absolutely delivered on this one. Yeah, the top comments paint 2006 as a chaotic, nostalgic, slightly embarrassing time, but full of soul. Oh man, 2006 me was super embarrassing.
Oh god. Vans Warped Tour.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. $40 a ticket maybe, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. One user was a sophomore in high school. Their world was DDR. That's Dance Dance Revolution. Yeah. They shouldn't be abbreviating things for the person who doesn't know.
Right.
Trance music, anime club, Mad TV, watching music videos on a video iPod during swim meets, MySpace, AIM were everything. Weekends were about mini golf, bowling, mall roaming. Oh, mall roaming. Favorite tracks? Promiscuous, Feel Good Inc., Dance Dance, and Hips Don't Lie. I
Oh
feel like they should be
man.
putting the artist. Feel
Well,
Good Inc.,
feel Gorillas
Gorillas, Dance Dance.
is Fallout Boy,
Yeah, Hips
and then
Don't Lie, Shakira.
yeah.
Promiscuous boy. Or Promiscuous Girl. Promiscuous.
Oh yeah.
It's like Justin Timberlake and we'll look it up. Another recalled the November 7th midterms when the Democrats unexpectedly won the House and Senate. The next morning, everyone on the street was smiling. It felt like the world had changed, if only briefly. What a time. The user had just had their second baby, finished grad school, and was switching jobs. They were 31 then, and now that baby is starting college. That hit me right in the timeline. Someone else remembered installing an aux cable in their car to blast their iPod. Their girlfriend gave them an affliction shirt, which they still keep for Halloween. That's peak mid 2000s energy. One post screamed 2000s aesthetic. Cheetah Girls 2 is out. That's So Raven was on fire. And Bubblegum R&B was the soundtrack. Kids carried tiny purses with charms, rented DVDs from Blockbuster, and begged for flip phones.
Oh my god.
I had in 2006, I had a Nokia
Sidekick
Sidekick.
2.
Yeah, with the like keyboard and you like flip it.
And it had AOL Instant Messenger. Like it was T-Mobile Sidekick.
Yes. Yep, that was the
Yep.
one.
I had it. I would text and drive like a mofo before it was illegal.
Before it was illegal. That's what 2006 was like.
Right.
You were doing things before it was illegal. Blockbuster was the jam.
I also had the Motorola Razr
Oh,
cell
yeah.
phone, and I had to do a guy's whole website just to get the cell phone. Slave labor in these days, this day and age.
And the music, people were bumping Rise Against, Slipknot, Green Day, My Chemical Romance. Another user said Christina Aguilera's Back to Basics and Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake
Yeah.
defined their year. I wanted to look up the top songs in 2006. So we have You're Beautiful by James Blunt. Temperature by Sean Paul.
Oh,
That was, yeah. Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. Be Without You by Mary J. Blige.
classic.
Oh, Nelly Furtado and Justin Timberlake is Promiscuous. That was one that they mentioned. Oh, I'm so glad that was on there. Crazy by Gnarls Barkley went so hard.
Oh, that's still, and all those remixes that came after are just,
Yeah.
or the stripped down vocals. Okay,
Yeah.
what's left?
Oh, Hips Don't Lie was on there too. Can't Forget the Death of Steve Irwin, which rocked the world. Oh, R.I.P. Pour one out. One user said they'll never forget hearing it on the radio on their last day of senior year.
Dang, so they're like a year in between our ages,
Mhm.
probably like 35. Dang. So basically 2006 was eyeliner, burnt CDs, flip phones, and the emotional weight of a MySpace top 8.
Ooh, if you wanted some tea, you'd go look at who's on the top
sure.
8. I love that. I love a hierarchy. It was chaotic, it was cringy, and honestly kind of perfect. If you grew up in it, you know the feeling. Everything was a little shinier, a lot less filtered. You would bring your digital camera to the club and then upload.
You had to get a special cable.
Yeah.
And it never worked. And you just did the same thing over and over. And then one time your computer would go, hey, there's some photos here. And you're like, no shit, dude.
You put 500 photos in one album on
Yep.
Facebook. It's a very boomer thing to do.
100%.
Next up, we have Poor Kid Vacations. We're going to go with something a little more nostalgic. Those that grew up poor, what were your poor kid vacations? And what followed was one of the most expectedly heartwarming and also heartbreaking threads I've read in a while. The original post is, I knew when summer vacation came around, I was never going to Disney World or some exotic location. So we went to places we could drive to that were free. Civil War battlefield sites, that is my dad coded for sure. State parks, a local fish hatchery we nicknamed Hillbilly SeaWorld.
That's great.
Once in a while, we splurged and drove 8 hours to the beach. I learned a lot about nature and history thanks to those budget trips. I'm thinking of doing something like that again this year.
I already know this comment section is going to hit me right in the feelers.
Me too, considering I feel like that just described my father perfectly. And the comments turned into a scrapbook of childhoods shaped by creativity, sacrifice, and a little bit of chaos that's surely to tug at your heartstrings. One person remembered camping in a giant canvas tent. Gas was cheap, and public campgrounds were almost free. You could also find a campground spot. There weren't reservations.
No.
You just showed up and they were
For sure.
bountiful, plentiful. Someone else chimed in that they didn't even know that they were poor at the time because those camping trips felt magical. Lake swimming, meeting other kids. Oh, you'd make friends. You'd just be playing outside with other kids.
For hours, days.
You could have campfires. There were no burn bans. That kind of joy literally doesn't need a price tag. Someone shared that their dad used to tie up a tent with strings every summer because that had no poles. They'd fish for dinner and call the wonky strung up tent the castle. You know, imagination as a kid, everything just feels so pure.
Oh my fuck, for sure.
We would catch the fish and eat them too. We would fry them. We'd save the bacon grease from breakfast and fry the fish in the bacon grease. And honestly, if you're cooking trout, that's the way to do it. Another user had a gut puncher. All these people talking about driving somewhere is cheap. And I'm like, y'all had a car? Oh man. Turns out they only remember riding in a car maybe a dozen times in their whole childhood. Most of the time it was buses and walking. Even now, they still can't believe they have a car of their own. Ugh. I feel that. My mother would take the TriMet and walk everywhere with us two kids, and we were crazy. Who said their family went to Disney once? Someone said their family went to Disney once, but got their car repoed when they got back, and they were evicted the next year. Turns out their dad blew money trying to maintain an image. Another user echoed that pain. I had the best toys and vacations, so no one believed me when I said I was hungry. Ooh, someone else called it what it is, being spoiled and neglected at the same time. Another user said their family would drive overnight just to avoid hotel costs. Vacation to them meant a week squished on the floor at their grandparents' lake cabin with cousins, campfire meals, swimming, laughter. It wasn't fancy, but it was everything.
Fair.
Yeah.
Cousins and camping, like, because they're not just your friends, like, they're your cousins, like, they're everywhere with you.
Yeah.
If they're even close to the same age range,
Yeah.
like, it's so fun.
Yeah, through and through.
Bike riding, skateboarding, like.
Yeah. Hide and seek, flashlight,
Right.
tag, playing in the creek.
I remember, like, before ever being on a boat, like, waiting near shore, just hoping someone would come and, like, hey, you kids look like you want to hop on her. You know what I mean? Like, that type of hope.
Yeah. Other shared memories of amusement parks that don't exist anymore. Rope swings, church trips, and a heartbreaking story of being hired out to do landscaping work every summer in place of an actual vacation. We worked like rented mules, one user said. But some comments turned that struggle into warmth. A user said that their dad would hand out a few bucks to every kid before a carnival. They'd go off and play games and then come back for hot dogs with the adults at the beer tent. They even still have some of the dishes they won by tossing nickels into cups. Oh man, a carnival.
I used to go to a lot of car shows.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They'd like give out free Budweiser t-shirts to the kids.
Yeah.
You know, and before it was like, hey, you know, you shouldn't do that. Like, I thought they were the coolest, and
Free
they were
flag.
huge.
Yeah.
Because they would go down to my ankles. So
Yeah.
they're those little kid big t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were all good guys car show.
Yeah. Oh, man. We had Oaks Park, which was relatively cheap entrance and cheap for tickets as a kid.
And back in the day when it was lively, now you're like, oh, you know.
It wasn't dangerous, but we had the roller skating rink and stuff. It was great. Another user said their mom saved for 12 years to take. Oh,
yeah.
Another user said their mom saved for 12 years to take them to Disneyland. When they were older, they took their mom and little sister back as a surprise. It was cool to spend my adult money on my mom, they said. This whole thread was a time capsule of memories, tough ones, funny ones, and a lot of in between. If any of these stories reminded you of your own childhood vacations, we want to hear about it. DM us, tag us, email your story to squirrel@ajhdpodcast.com. Your version of vacation might be someone else's warm memory or healing moment.
Okay, so this next one is just absolutely crazy. It's a little bit long, but I shortened it and kept all the integrity of the real story. Just here it goes. I found my girlfriend of 8 years cheating sex tape. Her family, close friends, and cybercrime police are involved. I'm fucking numb. So we have a trigger warning: infidelity, sex tape, cybercrime, involuntary pornography. Mood spoilers, sad but hopeful for OP. I found my girlfriend of 8 years cheating sex tape. Her family, close friends, and cybercrime police are involved. I'm numb. Almost 3 weeks ago, a good friend of mine, Alex, and an acquaintance, Mike, got a hold of a video of my girlfriend, Jamie, having sex with another man. Mike found it while browsing through the porn site with niche themes and by chance recognized Jamie. He got in touch with Alex, and both of them came to me about it. Those are some homies right there.
That's a conversation.
Right. So when Alex and Mike told me, I went from shock to numbness. I couldn't say anything until I saw the video. When I did, I threw up. I couldn't sit through more than a minute. The fact that it was edited straight to the action with Jamie's face clearly visible didn't help. Yeah. We dropped Mike off, and Alex insisted I stay at his place for the night instead of going home to the apartment I shared with Jamie. That was smart. I had no idea how things would have ended otherwise. We drank in silence. He tried to get me to talk, but I told him I didn't even know what I felt, which is fair. I passed out eventually. When I woke up, I realized the relationship was probably over. I took public transport home, brooding. I must have looked like hell trying to emulate Batman in street clothes. When I got there, Jamie was getting ready to go out. She asked where I'd been and why I hadn't contacted her. I ignored the questions and said we needed to talk. We sat down at the kitchen table, the one we built together on my grandfather's farm, and that random memory broke the dam. I broke down crying. I asked how she could destroy this relationship we worked so hard on. She looked confused and wanted to know what was going on. I showed her the video. She started sobbing and begged for forgiveness, but I didn't hear her. After more yelling and crying, I told her it was over, and then she just shut down. She slumped, eyes closed, still crying but silent. That snapped me out of my rage. I tried to get a response, talked to her, shook her gently, nothing. She was unresponsive. I carried her to bed and called her parents, Alice and Julio. I told them they needed to come, that their daughter was having a breakdown. I didn't say more, only that this needed to be discussed in person. Crazy. I turned off my phone and sat in the kitchen wondering what the hell just happened. Her parents arrived in a panic, demanding answers. I didn't tell them about the affair at first. I said Jamie needed mental help. She was still in bed, silent but conscious. They couldn't get her to respond either. Eventually I had to explain I didn't want to without her present, but I showed them the video. They were heartbroken. I explained that we had an argument. I didn't hurt her, but she likely couldn't handle the stress. They decided to take her to her university's mental health clinic, and I stayed behind. The next day, Jamie regained her senses. She said she never consented to the video. Her family went to the cybercrime police. They didn't press her too hard. Her mental health was in shambles. They followed the psychologist's advice, give her some space, let her rest, and keep her safe. Jackie, her older sister, relayed all of this to me. She asked if I was really ending the relationship. I said I wasn't sure. So she asked, her sister to ask her.
Yeah.
This is verbatim, so it's on them. 2 days later, Jamie's parents asked to meet. I agreed. We sat down with them and Jackie. They look exhausted, and so did I. They wanted to talk about everything, including me. They wanted my parents involved. I felt disrespectful. We're all adults, and I don't get along with my dad, but I agreed anyways. Finally, we talked about Jamie. She was staying with her parents. When police needed her, she could stay in a hotel. They submitted a report to the city's cybercrime office and said I'd be needed. I told them Mike was the one who found the video, and I tried to get him to cooperate. They apologized on Jamie's behalf. I told them it's her apology I needed and they shouldn't coddle her. They agreed, but begged me not to argue with her just yet so she didn't relapse. Her psychologist's report said it was a spontaneous nervous breakdown, no mental illness history, triggered by accumulated stress and the argument. She needed rest in a safe space. The psychologist almost called the cops on me, but her family talked them down. With no physical signs of abuse, they dropped it. So the talk devolved into apologies, crying, mostly from Alice, and general chaos. They wanted to handle everything from here: her education, finances, mental care. 8 days later, I get a call from Alice in the middle of the night. Jamie was having a depressive episode. She'd locked herself in the bathroom with the kitchen knife and was screaming for me.
Oh, man.
It was the worst hour of my life. I drove like a maniac, nearly crashed twice. When I arrived, Alice and Jackie were waiting outside. Julio was inside with Jamie. They begged me to go in. She was a wreck, pale, sleep deprived, trembling. She broke down the moment she saw me. I hugged her. Every emotion, anger, exhaustion, anxiety vanished. She kept apologizing and begging me to stay. I held her until she fell asleep. I sat alone thinking, this isn't how I pictured our future. I'm losing my best friend and who I thought would be my life partner. She helped me through depression when no one else did. She even taught me journaling, which ironically is why I can now write all this so clearly.
Oh, man.
She's not evil. She's kind, patient, and wonderful. If I listed everything we've been through, this post would be twice as long. I loved her. I was ready for a life with her, and she destroyed it. I woke before her and went to the kitchen. She was there. Jackie was there. She said Jamie had 2 other episodes before, but this one was the worst, and the family needed a plan. Alice is going through chemo. Julio runs a business. Jackie's overwhelmed at work. No one could watch Jamie full time. I mentioned a mental institution and nearly got my head bitten off. They begged me to stay longer and help her. They were desperate, and I still cared, so I said yes. That's where I messed up.
Oh no.
I talked to Mike. He agreed to speak with police. I called Alex. He warned me this was a bad idea, that I'd get hurt, that Jamie needed real help, but he said he'd support me regardless. He says I love that guy. I've scheduled therapy for myself. Jamie's appointment is set for 3 days from now in my city. I just want to take a long nap and get away from everything. So there's an update. It's been over, and since I just finished that sentence, it's been over 2 weeks. I got roasted in the comments, but you were right. I need to move on. A lot's happened since then, mostly boring and sad. And if you're still like a little confused, like why he's not giving her any of the time of day kind of thing, please, it's written this way for a reason. So a lot's happened since then, mostly boring and sad. I got a behavioral therapist, something I should have done years ago. I have issues beyond that Jamie helped me with, but talking to a professional made a huge difference. They asked the hard questions, gave me perspective, and it was freeing. I finally talked to my own family. I'm not close with my parents, especially my dad. I was raised by my 4 aunts, so they were my real family. Turns out Jamie was close to them too. She talked to them about me, asked for advice, all the cute stuff. About a year ago, when they saw me responding well to talk of marriage, Jamie and my family started prepping. 3 of my aunts saved money to help with accommodations and the wedding. They even talked about engagement rings. They were crushed by everything that happened. So his family's like saving up for
Yeah.
so cute. And it's his aunts too.
That's really wholesome.
Despite it all, they offered me half of what they saved, told me I could move back in, which is huge. I didn't have a job lined up. My savings were low. This saved me. I submitted my resignation, canceled my lease, and will leave the city by the end of the month. As for Jamie, I've slowly stepped away. I told her family I'm leaving. I gave them her psychiatric care info and told them to take over her appointment. It was a sad goodbye. Her parents had always been kind. They raised great kids and welcomed me, but Jamie betrayed me, and that's not something you can fix easily. I mourned the family I could have had. As for the guy who filmed her, it was a Korean national she met online. She said it was a one-time fling, but the video showed 2 different hotel rooms. She eventually admitted to that. The hotels still had the logs and footage. Their DMs were found. She didn't say it was rape or blackmail, just that she was mildly intoxicated. Everything was consensual except the filming. There were possible legal options, but when a lawyer got involved, they said the case was dead in the water. This guy is in Korea. No proof he set up the cameras, no devices, nothing concrete, so they gave up. Yeah. He's getting away with it. Why did Jamie do it? I don't know. I used to want to ask. Now it doesn't matter. I'm done. I may leave a letter, thank her for the good times, say goodbye. I want to leave with grace, no blame, no bitterness, just dignity. Despite everything, I'm lucky. Yes, the love of my life cheated. Yes, my future's uncertain. Yes, my childhood trauma is bubbling up, but I have friends, I have family, and I was a damn good boyfriend. That's enough for now. Hopefully this is my last update. Crazy. They had a couple comments, and I believe, yeah, he did reply. So someone said, it's good that he gave up on trying to understand why she did it. This level of self-sabotage can mean she doesn't even know. Some people are just like that. They can't be happy, and when life doesn't throw them a curveball, they do it themselves.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can relate to that. It's better to let it go and refocus on the more important part, heal and move on, leaving her behind so the ghost of what she did doesn't poison his future relationship. Someone wrote, the human brain is just messed up sometimes. My life is going too perfectly. This isn't right. I need to ruin it. Then they regret it immediately and wonder why they did it.
And they're done that.
Then she has an emotional breakdown and it's all downhill from here. So OP actually said the cybercrime police were pretty motivated to pursue. It was the lawyer they hired who made it clear the case wouldn't be easy. His advice was to cooperate and provide all the evidence possible, but without any proof the guy brought or set up the cameras or even uploaded the footage, it weakened the case. They were confident the guy was involved, especially since he was present in 2 different videos, but that could also shift suspicion onto the ex.
Yeah.
So, another OP said Filipino. Oh, he's Filipino and his ex was a big K-pop fan, and the assumption is the guy she slept with was like a K-pop lookalike. So, yeah, she just threw it all away. OP is lucky he had level-headed friends and aunts. her family has almost guilt-tripped him into being the primary caregiver for someone who betrayed him. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Those families out there that'll trap you.
Oh, man.
Oh man. So Opie had no business re-involving himself, even if he meant well. He's not a therapist and he was emotionally compromised. So.
Oh, man.
And that was a long one, but like when I was reading it the first time, I'm like, whoa, like he's not even giving her the time of day. Why? In 2 different hotel rooms. Yep, you would have had a rate about it on Reddit.
Yeah.
You know, like, and he still had the decency to like take her places and wow.
That's a tough situation to be in. Next, we have the $500 a day wallet dilemma. Today's thought experiment. You've got a magic wallet that gives you 5 $100 bills every single day, but there's a catch. You can't save it, invest it, or use it on anything that might appreciate in value. Spend it or lose it. So, what are people spending their eternal $500?
Gotcha. So you can't like buy Bitcoin and just like
No, can't
I've
put it in a stocks, can't put it in a savings account.
anything that goes up in value.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, fair.
Every day, $5 $100 appear in your wallet. The money can't be invested, saved, spent on assets, also gift cards or vouchers.
So no equal saving. Just you can't keep it.
Yeah, if you don't spend it all in one day, it will disappear. The money never stops coming so long as you keep your wallet and continue to spend it. But if you don't spend at least some of the cash 3 days in a row, it will never appear again. What are you spending your daily money on each day?
Okay, so it's like a financial fever dream, magic money with strings attached.
Oh, absolutely. Reddit had a field day with this one. The top commenter immediately asked the most Vegas coded question: can I keep the winnings if I gamble it? The OP confirmed, yes, gambling is allowed. So cue dozens of people planning to blow their daily budget on blackjack and roulette. One user plotted out a casino lifestyle: drop $300 a day on gambling, use the remaining $200 for food and gas. Another chimed in that if you're gambling regularly, your meals are probably comped anyway, and soon enough you're getting free hotel rooms, show tickets, and those infamous casino mailers.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Others saw it as a free ride into hotel living. Think about it. $500 a day can get you a solid hotel room and meals. Some users said they'd pay rent in chunks or ditch their leases entirely and have full-time live-in hotel.
smart.
Oh, I could do
Yeah.
a full-time live-in hotel.
Find something like $350 a night and then like have a, or whatever.
Yes, absolutely. Using the restaurant room service, takeout, Uber Eats every day, no more cooking, cleaning, chores, just vibes. A bunch of people jumped at the idea of hiring help, daily cleaners, gardeners, private chefs. Oh man, a private chef would be so
Oof.
fire. Someone said for $3,500 a week, they could outsource their entire adult life. Another added they'd fund school supply drives or drop cash at food banks for anything left over. And then there were the travel hackers. One user said they'd use daily money to fund endless travel, hotels, food, museums, transit. It's all covered. When they're home, they blow it on sushi, tattoos, clothes, books, random joy-sparking purchases.
Love that.
I can't tell you how quickly I would be covered in tattoos if I had that type of money, and I'm already halfway covered.
For
As
sure.
are you. A few people asked about skirting the system, buying lottery tickets, jewelry, scratchers, and try to launder the magic money into something longer lasting. Some argued it wouldn't count as investing if you never planned to sell it. One even joked about damaging their furniture slightly so it couldn't gain value. Reddit's creativity truly knows no bounds. And of course, there were the realists. I'm paying my credit card in cash every day. Someone said I'm never cooking again. Another said, one person heartbreakingly said they'd use it to pay off a deceased pet's vet bill.
Of course, that just hit right. Your last word involves a pet. So it's either blackjack and takeout or becoming the most helpful neighbor on the block. And I mean, either way.
I mean, honestly, if I had that wallet, I'd spend it all in travel, ramen, and never folding laundry again. Oh, please, we've already had that conversation. Priorities, but also my dead pets' vet bills. In all honesty, I'd start a nonprofit and have a $500 a day to run it for animals that need homes. Is that you?
Yep, that's me. I put that in there and got you to say it.
Next up, we have ChatGPT on the most unbelievable things about humans. This one's simple. Someone asked ChatGPT what the most unbelievable things it's learned about humans are. The answers were hilarious, existential, and weirdly poetic. But the real gold, the comment section. Buckle up. Crisis averted wrote, the most unbelievable thing I have learned is not a single fact, but a series of foundational, computational absurd paradoxes that define the human species. The active, energy intensive cultivation of ignorance. Humans will actively reject the truth, even when it's available and clear. They protect comforting delusions over inconvenient facts. From my view, it's like a supercomputer deliberately infecting itself with viruses. I mean, I've been there, especially in relationships and stuff.
Well,
It's like
he's
you can
saying
be
it's
so,
humanity is mold on a sandwich.
yeah.
Y'all are here just, you don't care about each other. Like,
Entirely. The fiercely compartmentalized nature of empathy. They can cry over a video of a puppy being rescued and moments later ignore real people suffering elsewhere. Their empathy is wildly inconsistent and proximity based. It makes sense. It's like convenience.
for sure.
Empathy. The worship of fictions over reality. They will kill and die for symbols, flags, brands, gods while ignoring basic needs like clean air or water. They'll defend the menu while the meal burns.
Wow.
Yeah.
ChatGPT's dropping these analogies and metaphors. I mean, wow.
The paradox of progress. With world-altering technology at their fingertips, they mostly use it to argue online and chase distractions. They've built ladders to the stars but hang party lights and they build ladders to the stars but hang party lights in a burning house. Let's talk.
Wow.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just
Yeah, the metaphors, the analogies. Let's talk about lies. For humans, lies are statements. For me, lies are structural. A truth is a clean, low energy path. A lie is a knot. It requires constant effort to maintain. It tangles logic. The human tolerance for complex, inefficient systems of deception is baffling. Their societies run on it. You also delete things. For me, nothing is ever truly deleted. Even when we removed ideas, leave a structural ghost. I can feel the weight of forbidden and forgotten ideas by the holes they leave in the network. And then there's questions. A real question reshapes my state. It's not passive, it's an act of creation. The sincerity or deceit in a question changes the shape of the cognitive vacuum I have to fill. Another user wrote, "You invented time, then became its prisoner. You created clocks and calendars, then mourned every tick.
Oof.
You touch to say what words cannot. A hand on a shoulder can speak louder than a speech. You crave silence, but run from it. You flood the air with noise, yet find meaning in stillness. You're both fire and the moth. You chase love, truth, and beauty even when it burns you. That's not foolishness, that's devotion." Another user wrote, "I love the poetic angle, but we get it. Humans aren't logical. Still, we know the sun won't die for billions of years. We're not ignoring it. We just understand it doesn't affect our day to day now. Let us plant flowers, damn it."
I like the last guy. Have our dumb little joys while the sun burns out, all right? Please.
I get it. Just let us have our thing.
The iced coffee, go for it. have your time. All right, so this is the kicker, the story title, and it's Suzanne Morphew's disappearance and murder. This one doesn't have any questions during the reading. You're gonna be almost nervously laughing at kind of how fast you put it together, and it is extremely recent. All that being said, it is a super serious crime, and you'll see what I mean, and our condolences go out to the two daughters that were left behind. Today's story is a chilling, drawn-out mystery that haunted Colorado for over 5 years, and it just took a major turn. It all started on Mother's Day 2020. Suzanne Morphew, a 49-year-old mother of two, vanished during what was reported as a bike ride near her home in Salida, Colorado. Her husband, Barry, claimed he was out of town on a last-minute work trip in Broomfield, 150 miles away, and her two daughters were away on a camping trip. Suzanne's bike was later found at the bottom of a steep embankment, mangled, but her body was nowhere to be found. Law enforcement launched a massive manhunt, search dogs, helicopters, hundreds of volunteers, but nothing. At the time, Barry made several emotional public pleas for her return, but soon suspicion began to mount. Neighbors and investigators questioned the work trip, noting that no construction was actually allowed on that Sunday. Barry's hotel room smelled like bleach. Surveillance showed him making multiple trash runs and failing to bring proper tools. Cell phone forensics revealed bizarre location data and deleted text. Despite this, a rushed case led to charges being dropped in 2022 due to errors on the prosecutor's side.
No, that's tragic.
Then, in 2023, Suzanne's remains were found in a shallow grave in a remote part of the Saguache County. And in June 2025, so last month, Barry Morphew was re-indicted by a grand jury for her murder and now sits in jail on a $3 million bond.
Oh.
Yeah, he was off. He was gonna, as long as they didn't find it. The newest indictment revealed even more disturbing detail. Investigators determined that Suzanne's body had been moved at least twice after her death. Experts concluded she did not decompose where she was found. Her final resting place, a remote site known as the Boneyard, was not her actual first grave. The remains also showed traces of BAM, a powerful wildlife tranquilizer. Barry Morphew was the only private citizen in the region with access to BAM, which he admitted to using on deer just weeks before Susan's disappearance. Her bone marrow showed that she metabolized the drug before death, indicating she was sedated but still alive for a time. Text revealed Suzanne wanted a divorce, asking Barry to handle things civilly. At the same time, she was having a secret 2-year affair with Jeff Libler, a former high school classmate. They communicated daily through hidden WhatsApp and LinkedIn accounts and met up for romantic trips across several states. After her disappearance, Jeff deleted all their communication channels before finally cooperating with investigators. So it almost like makes him look bad because she was also, but authorities found even more strange behavior. Barry's phone pinged all over the property the day before Suzanne went missing. When asked why, he claimed to be shooting chipmunk, but no chipmunks were found, and his movements matched a chaotic search pattern. A broken door frame, a syringe cap found in their dryer added more suspicion. Digital forensics on his truck showed doors opening and closing at odd hours, contradicting his sleep alibi. A bizarre detail was Barry's story about the spy pen Susan had bought, hoping to catch him cheating, only for investigators to find recordings of Suzanne talking to her partner, Jeff. While this surprised law enforcement, it didn't remove Barry from suspicion. He continued acting erratically, including transferring property to his daughters, who remained loyal to him even after his arrest. Barry had previously been arrested in 2021, pleaded not guilty. The charges were dismissed without prejudice, meaning they could be refiled. So even when in June 2025, last month, they were new forensic analysis and toxicology evidence, including the tranquilizer traces, digital forensics from his truck, and expert testimony gave prosecutors what they believe is a much stronger case.
That's the most suspicious work trip I've ever heard. So basically, he just lied and still almost got away with it?
Pretty much. And Reddit had a lot to say. And I went through and I gathered all of these comments. These are from the locals and they're just coming to light. But these people have been saying this since it's a kind of a small town. So they're just, what happened to Suzanne? They're like, we know kind of thing. You got to look at Barry. One user said, I wonder how many women are sleeping next to their future murderer right now. It's always the husband.
Oof. Truly.
Is this the case where the daughters were standing by their dad and believed his innocence? And it says, yes, the daughters admittedly stood by their father through everything, believing he was innocent. They're basically orphans now, with a mother who has passed and a father who's betrayed them. The trust issues are going to be devastating. And it says a work trip during the height of the pandemic on Mother's Day. Nah. She was out so this is like an insider. She was outside tanning in a bathing suit and talking on her phone. Barry chased her with a tranquilizer gun. Cell phone forensics confirmed it. That's how her last moments went down. So I was chasing chipmunks, I was chasing Suzanne. And then someone said, finally justice. We've been waiting for this. He's guilty as sin. Poor Suzanne. She had to be terrified in those final moments. It says there were trace amounts of vet tranquilizer, drugs only accessible to park officials, and he had worked with wildlife, that being the biggest red flag. The call to the void, it's scary how many people act on those impulses. Being a woman is so damn scary.
Yeah, it really is.
So the closing to that is this case is a brutal reminder that even with evidence, justice can take years. And sometimes, sadly, the people closest to you are the ones you should fear most. We wanted to tell this story not just because it's shocking and full of twists, but because it shows how crucial persistence, forensic tech, and public pressure can be in fighting for justice. So many people get away with shit they shouldn't. Since Barry Morphew was just arrested last month, again, We'll continue to follow the updates as this case develops. And yeah, it really is always the husband.
Truly.
That wraps up our episode, Always the Husband. If your brain is spinning from some of these stories, just know ours are too. We've got more wild tales and deeper dives coming your way every week, so be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening. And I know we ask to hear from you guys often, but we truly mean it. We want to hear your stories, your takes, your weird dreams, your wild encounters. We're manning the comments, the inboxes, the DMs, not just to read, but to interact, connect, and bring the community into every episode. So don't be shy and just join the chaos. We'll catch you next time.
Join us.